Hey, what's going on, fam? It's your girl Mel here. And I hope everyone is having a blessed and prosperous day or evening. I will not be before you long, but there is a topic that I would like to discuss with you very briefly today. So, if you are from the town of Fairmont, if you have ever lived in Fairmont, I would suggest that you take the time out to watch this video. And if you think that the subject matter is too sensitive for your child or children, I would suggest that you watch the video and at least have a conversation with them later. If you have children, you will want to. Okay, I have my notes here, so I will be going back and forth, but I do want to make sure that I am covering all areas because it's a lot of things, points that I want to cover in here that are very important. First of all, if you're from Fairmont and you're around my age or older, many of you are familiar with my story. If you remember, my dad, Nathaniel Thompson, I was sexually molested and abused, raped for a year while living with my father, my biological father. And this is the first time that I'm mentioning his name in the history of me doing my videos. And I'm doing that for a reason because my father had a lot of supporters and he continues to have a lot of supporters. But many of them are under the impression that there was only one. Okay, there's never just one. There's always more than one. And they're under the impression that he made a mistake. A mistake is something that you do, you regret, you apologize, you make restitution, and then you go forward without doing it again. A mistake is not having sex with your child almost every day for a year. Okay, and like I said, I wasn't the only one. I was just the only one who told him that he did time for 4 years, and we'll talk about that later. But to my knowledge, the first one to my knowledge was my stepsister. Yeah, I remember when she told. Okay, and nobody knows about her, and the ones that do don't talk about it. And he has addressed it with me because I had a conversation with him. But she wasn't we weren't the only two. There are others. There are others that he's violated, and I'm saying that to make a point. We may not get justice, or they may not ever get justice for it. Okay, but I can talk about it because I know these things to be true, and people need to know and understand there's never just one. There's always more than one. Okay, and also, like I said, it's important to know that it was one that told and he got in trouble for that. He only did 4 years, while I've suffered already 30 years of residual after effects from what he's done to me. And although I've been in my recovery now, doing it successfully myself for 11 years, I still suffer from residual effects. I've been helping people for about 3 years and I still suffer. Okay, not a lot, not as many as others, but I still deal with them. Okay, while he's been able to go on with his life and have a family and get married and still raise other people's children and have children of his own. Okay, all of that is important, and as I go through this video and finish covering all these other things, you'll understand why. Okay, you ask yourself, why am I talking about this today? Well, I've been helping people for almost 3 years, and it all started and has built to the capacity that it has based on the video that I did. He was my dad. He was my first Rape Culture Hurts. It is on YouTube. It's on my YouTube channel. It is under Melody Wilson, and it's garnered well over 1 million views now. So in doing that, I'm always posting. Okay, I'm always posting on Facebook and any other my social media outlets about the indecencies of people, especially when it comes to sexual indecencies. But I do particularly post about the sexual indecencies and indecent liberties taken upon children. Okay, because in all of the people that I've helped, and I have lost count of all the people that I've helped. I've lost count of the people that come to me about their experiences. And in those people that I have helped, in so many, most of them were sexually abused as children. Some of them were abused in their adult lives. Some of them were abused as teens. But the majority of the people I deal with, like myself, were abused as children. So that's why I want to talk about that. And that's why I'm talking about it today, because it is very rampant. It's rampant because we have people who protect these people. They know what's going on. You know when your child's behavior has changed and something is not right in them. And then when you know, you don't say anything because you want to stay with a man or be with a man. You don't want. I don't know. I don't know what these reasons are for why the supporters of these predators and pedophiles, ephebophiles, hebephiles. I don't know why people support them like they do, but they do. And that is the reason why childhood sexual abuse is so rampant. There are so many children who are being touched sexually, and people are actually having sex with these children every single day, and nobody knows about it. Pay attention to your children. It's going on, and it's going on up under your noses. Okay. So also, when I post, I don't always get many likes or commentaries. I don't care. That's not why I post. When I post or anything that I do is to help, heal, educate, motivate, and challenge rationales, inspire, challenge rationales, so that we can change this whole pervasive rape culture that we have going on. And even though I don't get a lot of likes and comments and things like that, a lot of you come to my inbox. If you don't come to my inbox, you'll approach me if you see me out. If you got my number, you'll call me. But emails, I get emails all the time. But I get so many people who contact me and talk to me about their experiences, particularly when they were young. Okay, particularly when they were young, and a lot of these people are from my hometown. My hometown. Rape, sexual violation is a sensitive topic. Nobody likes to talk about it. That is one of the reasons why when those of us who have experienced it want to talk to someone, we're reluctant because we either have fear of being rejected, not believed, or just simply making somebody uncomfortable. Even when I was going for my degree, I noticed that the people that I was in class with were kind of uncomfortable about discussing rape and sexual violation. So that means that a lot of times when you go to therapy and counseling, there are therapists and counselors out there who are uncomfortable with the conversation of sexual violation. There are people who have been in therapy for years who have never approached the topic, and their counselors won't approach the topic because they're kind of afraid to touch it. There's a lot of counselors who don't. So just a heads up, anybody who's considering any type of counseling or therapy with regard to your sexual violation experiences, make sure that you seek out one who either specializes in it or is familiar and comfortable enough in it to have those conversations with you. But we talk about rape inside the home, particularly I do when it comes to incest, pedophilia, things like that. But I don't particularly talk about a lot of rape outside of the home. And we do get a lot of, when we talk about campus rape, the girls going off to college and stuff like that, what to be careful for. And we talk about women who experience sexual violation in other manners, whether it's on the job, strangers, date rape, things like that. But nobody talks about something that's very important: high school. High school. There's a lot of rape that goes on in high school. First, I want to say there was a lot of teachers having sex with students. Yeah, there were. Rape, I don't know of any instances where teachers were raping students, but there were a lot of teachers having sex with students, which means the reason why I'm mentioning that is that there was a lot of behavior that was going on with other students that teachers allowed. And what I'm talking about in particular were the athletes, okay? Basketball players, football players. And I'm saying those two in particular because of these conversations that I've had with other women that I've gone to school with before and after me and with me have come to me about their experiences with you. A lot of you. A lot of you, we all know you. You know me. And just be glad that I'm not calling out names. And I'm not calling out names, not because I want to protect you. I'm not calling out names because I want to protect my sisters. There's probably a few guys out here who's had some experience too who won't say anything. But that is the reason why I'm doing this video today. Because there are a lot of you who hurt a lot of the women that you went to school with. A lot of these women that are walking around today who might be crackheads, alcoholics, and not just crackheads and alcoholics, workaholics, gamblers. Some women around here that you really think that are doing their thing, like me when I was Superwoman for so many years and nobody knew what I had gone through. But there's a lot of women in your circle that you went to school with, that you were raised by, because this has been going on for years, long before me, while I was in school and after. So there's a lot of women that are walking around you that you're wondering what's going on with them, why they can't get their lives together. They were raped in high school, and they were raped by a lot of these guys that you're cool with. A lot of our family, a lot of our friends. Okay? And many of these women who contact me, they weren't just raped. They were gang raped. And it's bad enough being sexually violated or have someone force themselves on you. But imagine a few people, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys forcing themselves on you. And then having them talk about it, laugh about it, and you become berated, demeaned, called a whore, a hoe, because somebody took advantage of you. And then you wonder why women are out here on drugs and getting drunk, trying to maintain. They're trying to dead that pain. They're trying to erase that memory of how somebody or people took advantage of them when they were young and they never told anybody, because who's going to believe them? Because the guys are already out there talking about them like they're whores. I know, I've been there. A lot of you that laugh and grin and smile in my face, yeah, a lot of you went there with me, and you know you did. Be glad I'm not calling names. The only reason why I'm not calling names is to protect my sisters. I don't care about you guys. Anybody that has taken it upon themselves to violate another person, I don't care about you. I don't care about what happens to you when that truth comes out. But I'm going to protect my sisters. Unless they want to come forth with their truth and share their stories, I'll never out them like that. But be glad, because I could embarrass a whole lot of you. I could really snatch your lives right now, just on my stories alone. A lot of it to me right now just ain't worth it, because I got a bigger job to do. But I'm doing this video today because there's a lot of women who will not get justice for how they were raped and taken advantage of, particularly in high school. Okay? And one of the things that needs to be understood is that these teachers let this stuff go on. The teachers themselves were having sex with students. So they allowed this behavior. So if a girl was gang raped, they're not getting ready to go tell their teacher. Okay? You guys need to be having these conversations with your kids. And all of you guys out here who I'm not mentioning your names, understand this. You got kids. You got daughters. You got granddaughters. And a lot of you worried about them. You worried about what God's going to do to them. You worried about what's going to happen to them when they go off on their own. And you need to be. You need to be. And I hope and pray to God that none of your children ever experience rape or sexual violation. But I will give you something to think about. Okay? Our children suffer our sins. It's generational curses. When we go through things, when we experience things, if we don't learn and do better, we pass that stuff on to our children, because our children don't do what we say. Our children do what we do. That our first experiences and how we carry ourselves come from the home and what we see from our parents. Our children don't go out here and they watch other people. They don't watch other people as closely as they watch us. So understand, children don't do what we say. Children do what we do. So a lot of you who are out here hurting women or hurting girls in high school, you might be raising children who might be doing the same, or you might be raising children who will get the same thing done to them. You need to think about that. And like I said, I don't wish anything bad on anybody, but I will say this to any man or woman who has ever took it upon themselves to violate another human being, man, woman, or child. I do hope and pray that you do receive your own individual suffering here on this earth, because we don't know what's going to happen in the afterlife. But a lot of my sisters and some brothers who refuse to talk will never come forward and will not get justice for what happened to them. So I'm here to run my mouth for everybody, because like Kendrick said, I don't give a fuck. I don't care about nobody's attitudes. I don't care about what people think about me. I don't care about nothing. I live on my own terms according to God. And there are a lot of people out here who needs their stories told, whether it's adverted or inadvertent. And like I said, a lot of you guys, just be glad. Be glad that I'm not calling your names. Just sit here going through my notes right now. Earlier I was talking about my dad, and I was saying how he did 4 years. Okay, my father did 4 years because I was the only one who told on him. I was the only one who was brave enough to go against him in court, but I wasn't the only one. So what I want you guys to understand is that he did 4 years for what he did to me and got off for what he did to everybody else. And in those 4 years where he got a slap on the wrist, where he's still able to live his life, go on and have girlfriends, have wives, get married, raise other people's children, and have more children, while I have struggled for 30 years with residual effects. I've been successfully doing my recovery for 11 years and doing it on my own, might I add. But for 30 years, I suffer. And even after doing my recovery for 11 years, I still suffer. I don't suffer from a lot like a lot of people, but I do still suffer from some residual effects. So while he's going on with his life and whatever, I still deal with these things. Although I thank God that he has healed me in a lot of areas and I am able to help a lot of other people. But it needs to be understood that whenever these things happen, I'll always, always, always say that whenever a person is sexually violated, you might as well take a gun and put it to their head and pull the trigger, because you have essentially taken their lives. You've either killed them, their spirit, or you've wounded them severely. And some people never bounce back. Some people never bounce back, for one, because they never find the strength to tell their story. Well, I'm here to tell anybody who has experienced sexual violation, particularly in my hometown, regardless of what you think about me, who I am and what I do, I'm here. I'm here, if nothing else, but to listen. I'm here to listen to you, to offer you support so that you can at least tell your story to somebody. And if you don't feel comfortable telling it to me, find somebody to tell it to, maybe even a stranger. There are a lot of online counselors and therapists out there. Find somebody to at least just tell your story. There's a lot of you who are struggling right now because you ain't told nobody. There's a lot of you that have come and told me, and now you feel so much better. Do yourselves a favor. Tell somebody. There's a young lady out here with a hashtag and an organization and everything around here. I can't think of her name. She's on my page. But her thing is, tell somebody. Tell somebody. Okay, get that shit off of you. I talk about it in one of my videos, releasing the guilt and shame. Take the guilt and shame off of you, put it back on them, point it back on them, because you have nothing to be embarrassed or ashamed about. You didn't do nothing wrong. They did. And I always say, if you don't want nobody to know about it, you shouldn't have never done it. Because me, I'm that sister with the mouth. I'm telling. And if you don't want to share your story, come to me. I'll share it for you. I ain't got to tell no names, but I'll share it for you. You just tell me what you need to do. Okay? That's you it. Need me to do. That's all I got. But what I do want to say is this. Many of you know I have my survivors group here on Facebook, Striving to Survive to Thrive. It's helping a lot of people. I try to be in there as much as I possibly can. And you're more than welcome to hit my inbox. Many of you already have, but feel free to. My email is melwilson0714@gmail.com. I'm on Instagram as girl_melody714. I'm also on Twitter, and I get and Kick for the kids, but I get messages all the time. And I do want to say that most of you, or some of you, know that I had I created a Jumpstart to Recovery class. It is a class to help you get jump started with your recovery, because a lot of people don't even understand the importance of recovery. I explained to you how I've been doing it for 11 years now, but I had to gain a lot of things that I lost. One of the things that we lose when we experience sexual violation is self-love. So this is my book, okay? I don't know if you can see it. Mel's Jumpstart to Recovery. It's a psycho-educational workbook, and it's based on the recovery of sexual violation. But I also believe that this book is helpful for a recovery period, and for anybody who could benefit from the subjects, because I talk about, I think it's 8 different topics that I touch on, and one of the biggest ones is self-love. I also talk about rape culture. I talk about forgiveness. a lot of different subjects I talk on. And right now, it should be available on Amazon soon. And we have come together and we have agreed, me and my cool hearts, thank you, Nadia and Maria, we've come up with $9.99 for the ebook price. But the printed version, if you want one, will be a little pricier. I can either, I would suggest even getting the getting the ebook and then just printing it out yourself. But if you want me to print it for you, I can, but it will be a little pricier because it costs somewhere between about $18 to $20 just to print it out, and then I got to send it to you. But I would suggest you print it out because there's a lot of things. It is a workbook and there's worksheets, exercises for you to do. There's also contracts. There's a recovery contract where you make a contract that you are going to do what you need to do for your life. Some of us, we work better when we make a solid commitment to ourselves and we actually write it down. So there's also what I call a duality contract where you make a contract with yourself that's explained in the book. And there's also, like I said, other exercises to help you change your thoughts and thought processes, because I talk a lot about that. And that's what this last degree, my doctorate, is for, is helping people or teaching people how to change their lives through changing their thoughts and thought processes, going a little bit more in depth, something similar to CBT therapy, but not quite. So that's what this is. And also in the back, there's a glossary to explain a lot of the terms, particularly the terms in the book. There's also a chart to help you keep up with everything. Here it is here. Just to give you an idea why I think you should print it out. Okay, it's just I think it's really helpful. What I did was I took a lot of the things that I felt like helped me through my recovery for the past 11 years, that helped me get to the place that I am in now, where I'm able to help other people, and giving it to you guys. And like I said, I've had about 4 classes now that I've taught with the Jumpstart to Recovery, and from the feedback that I've gotten, it's been very successful. And any of you guys that's watching that were a part of it, feel free to comment. So that's all I have. I hope I haven't kept you guys too long, but please have a conversation with your children. If you have children, if you have grandchildren, nieces, nephews, the title says, Rape Raised Us in Fairmont. And I've made that title what it is because so many people have come to me from my hometown. So many people. And Fairmont is not a big place. Fairmont is small. So what I'm saying to you, with Fairmont being as small as it is, and with so many people coming to me since I've been out talking about my own situation, that's a lot of people in a small area. Rape raised us. And I mean, we look at Fairmont now, it's small, and I'm working with my cousin trying to get us back and moving, LaShonda Baker, with the Stop the Violence movement, just trying to bring order. And we're working on getting some things together so that we can provide them for the youth. And one of the things that we do want to touch on is sexual violation, rape in our community, because rape raised us. There's so many of us who are affected by rape and sexual violation. Think about it. Those of you who experienced it, have these conversations with your kids. Those of you who hurt other people, think about it. Think about it, how your life was spared and saved on this day because Mel, Tara, didn't mention no names. Because I got a lot of them. And some of you that are still walking around here today that violated me, you know who you are, and you got away with it. It's all good. Okay, I'm not the judge and the jury. You have suffered, or you will, but that's not my concern anymore. I've healed a lot in a lot of areas. So I'm not here to be vindictive. I'm not here to hurt nobody. I'm just here to tell the truth. Okay? So anybody who feels the need to share their story, hit my inbox, hit my email, hit me on the other social sites. Anybody that has hurt anybody that wants to come to me to make restitution, you need to go to the person that you hurt. But if you want to make restitution just to say, you know what, I did it, you ain't even got to mention no names who you did it to. You just feel the need. But you need to get with yourself, the person you hurt, and God. But you need to think about it, especially if you have children. Okay? I'm not going to just say daughters. I'm not going to just say granddaughters. because you got a lot of young men who are being sexually assaulted too. So I apologize if I took up too much of your time. I love you guys, and I love my hometown. We all go away, but it's where we were raised. It's where my heart is. Okay, that's how I began my life. That's how Fairmont and Fairmont experiences made me who I am today. And I want to shout out my high school hitters, Lisa Bullard, Jenny Wren, Willa Townsend, Shalonda Townsend, Kimberly Ford, Andrea Ford, Terry Diane Pittman, Eric Gaddy, rest in peace. God, if I'm missing anybody, I'm sorry. Melissa Markham, Melissa Griffin. I remember us hanging out. Oh my God, and my sisters, Melissa and Michelle McCrae, the twins. What? So listen, I've had these conversations, I think, with all of you. Maybe not all of you, but most of you. And I love you all. And I thank you. I thank you for taking this time to listen. And go have a conversation. Go have a conversation with your children. Go have a conversation with the women. I'm quite sure if you go say, hey, so and so, you ever know about anybody that was raped, particularly in high school? You're going to learn some things. All right. I love you guys. I appreciate you all. You all have a blessed and prosperous day or evening. And thank you. Love you. Later.